I found peace in your vibes. Can't show me there's no point in trying. I'm at one, and I've been quiet for too long. I found peace in your vibes. Can't show me there's no point in trying. I'm at one, and I've been silent for too long.
What's up, everybody? My name is Mitchell Manis. Welcome back to episode 5 of the Hogline Podcast. We are on the road, first episode on the road. We are live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the greatest city in America.
You got it.
You got it. I'm going to introduce today's guest today. It is my father, Brian Manis. Say what's up to the people.
Hello, everyone, people.
Yeah, we got a lot to get into today. The World Cup wrapped up. We are going to start off with that briefly. And then we will be getting into the British Open. For all you golf fans out there, exciting time. It starts on this Thursday and it'll go to Sunday. Early mornings, got to get up around 5 or 6 a.m. for that. And then after that, we're going to be talking to Le'Veon Bell, his contract situation and what that means to the future outlook of him and the Steelers and all that. And then that'll be a nice transition into our fantasy football talk to close out the show, as we've been doing for the past few episodes. Sound good?
I believe you just said we're going to be talking to Le'Veon Bell.
Oh, no. That
would be awesome.
Oh, I would have a few things to say to him if we were talking to him directly.
We're talking about Le'Veon Bell.
Well, he'll listen to this.
Sure, I'm sure. Hopefully, we'll see him following.
Oh, man. Well.
Talking to.
No, not Le'Veon. All right, well, I'm going to start off by talking about the World Cup final. My dad is not really a soccer fan, can't really comment too much on the World Cup. And unfortunately, I know this is kind of sad.
He didn't know who was in it.
He did know who was in it. Let's
Right.
give him some credit there. Unfortunately, I know this is kind of sad because I've been hyping up the World Cup and I've been watching most of the games, but I did not get to see the final. But I was following it along. And I was looking at all the goals and stuff. It looked like it was France kind of dominated it. It was 1-1, I know that, but then France scored those 2 goals within the span of 6 minutes.
When did Croatia score their goal on themselves? Was that goal number 3?
That was the very first goal of the game.
The first goal. Okay.
It looked like it was in the 18th minute, and Croatia's been getting down, though, early in games, and they've been able to come back in them, so... And they did tie it up like 10 minutes later with that goal. But then France just proved to be too much, and they were the more talented team going into it, so...
I was pulling for Croatia.
He was. Why were you pulling for
Croatia? For many
Croatia?
different reasons. For first of all, they have a cool crest on their flag.
All right.
And I have a good friend who's Croatian, so I was pulling for him.
And they're underdogs.
They're underdogs. I'm not, as far as France goes, I'm not a big fan of France. I do like their.
You don't like their
toast.
people?
I like their toast and their fries and their kisses.
You do make a mean French toast.
The toast and the fries and kisses.
All right.
I'm a big fan.
Oh,
of that.
God.
That's the only
Okay.
thing I am for the France.
Let's keep it PG. No French kissing on this show.
PG. But yeah, that's Croatia. They put up a good fight. They didn't get shut out, and other than scoring, I didn't see how they scored on their own goal.
It was like
a mistake, or was it just like they were kind of passing towards a goal and just what happened?
It was kind of just like a.
Please report that to me.
A misdirected header.
Oh, misdirected header. Oh, well, that's even.
Yeah, I know. It's not. It wasn't like.
It's like deflecting off of someone's stick. That's all. Or a skate. If you're just in hockey.
Exactly. It wasn't like. It wasn't too bad.
That's all right.
But an own goal nonetheless.
Well, yeah. Such a small country.
No, hats off to them. They were underdogs going into the whole entire tournament.
Awesome.
They were not expected to go this far, and they played very well in the whole entire tournament.
Wait, they played who to get in?
England
to get in. England to get in. That's a formidable team. England was favored for the whole thing, weren't they?
They were up there.
England or
they're always. I think they're always talented, but they've disappointed as well. England in their fair share of tournaments.
Right. Hats off to Croatia.
Yeah, hats off to them. But France was the far more talented team, and they proved
Correct.
so. Goals by Paul Pogba in the 59th minute and Mbappe in the 65th. Mbappe really showed the star that he was in this tournament. Mbappe, yeah, isn't that a cool name?
Oh, there he is.
Yeah,
Mbappe.
right there. Yep.
That is, that
Yeah.
is cool.
Yeah, he could be, he could be replacing potentially Ronaldo at Real Madrid. Anything is
Really?
possible. Yeah,
I know Ronaldo.
he left Real
I know-
Madrid. That's
I
a
know
big
Messi,
story.
I know
in soccer.
Messi.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm sorry,
I
I'm
mean,
just trying to
but
throw in something.
I really
soccer like.
I learned
I will be looking forward to the World Cup in another
8 years.
8
It's in-
years.
That's no. The next one's in 4 years, but it's in the U.S. in 8 years. That's
Oh,
what
8
we're
years.
talking about.
Okay, I'll be more into it. I'm more of a homer, and yeah, when things get something of this magnitude, when it gets on the home soil, I'll be a little bit more interested.
And U.S. gets that automatic bid to the
Oh, yes.
2026 World Cup.
What happened? They just opted not to play, or they
Oh,
opted not to
they didn't qualify.
in qualifying. Yeah, that's not good. All right, so yeah, we'll be there in 8 years. But yeah, every 4 years. That's what. Looking forward to another 4 years.
Yeah, and I know I said this on the previous 2 episodes, but I was really impressed with the play in this tournament. I thought it was very exciting. A lot of good runs, as we said with Croatia. It was very unpredictable, to put it simply at that. But
Yes. There were a lot of close games. I did watch some stuff towards the end. There were a lot of games that were.
you watched that Belgium Japan game.
I watched that one, the South Korea game, when they pulled it out over. Who did South Korea beat? But they beat someone.
South Korea.
Yeah.
They didn't make the knockout stage. Yeah, I don't know. There was just a lot
of games went to the last.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Last seconds of the game, or last couple minutes, I should say, it was decided then. So that was exciting.
A few penalty kicks in the knockout stage. It was a good all around tournament, and very exciting. I think it lived up to the hype. So that's going to conclude our World Cup talk. Probably won't talk much soccer, but it's pretty much when I only get into the soccer is when the World Cup comes around. But
so, tune in another 4 years.
Yeah, we're gonna switch gears. We're gonna talk about the British Open. We are very excited for it. It starts this Thursday, bright and early at 4 a.m. And it'll conclude on Sunday and around noon.
Very excited.
We have had trouble pronouncing where it is being played. What are we going with now?
Carnoustie.
Carnoustie?
Carnoustie.
Carnoustie. That's what we're going with.
Carnoustie Golf Links.
If it's wrong, it's wrong, but we're going to refer to it as Carnoustie throughout this episode. It is in Angus, Scotland. And we've looked at Scotland. That was good. I don't have a good Scottish accent. I don't want to even attempt that. Yeah, last year's winner, Jordan Spieth at Birkdale. He won by a margin of 3 shots. That's when he had that infamous. He took 30 minutes to take a shot, and that was kind of annoying. But obviously, he's very talented. And we'll be talking about him and many others as we get into that. The weather looks okay. I looked at that.
Yeah. It's some showers and sprinkles on Friday. It's the only thing, but only day it seemed like, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's going to be windy. That'll play a factor into it, as every time the tournament's played over in Europe. But overall, not too bad. I mean, I look at it: 71 on Thursday, 69 on Friday, 67 on Saturday, and 73 on Sunday, and sunny, mostly sunny for most of those days. Brian said, chance of showers on Friday, but I mean, I'm sure if it's not too bad, they will just have to power through that, and it'll affect everyone pretty much. Yes, we have the odds.
There's your local forecast.
Yeah, if you live in Angus, Scotland, there's your we're a weather podcast as well.
That's right.
Yeah, so we have the odds as of a couple hours ago for the tournament of who is favored to win. Just to run down the first few of them. We've got Dustin Johnson, the favorite, at 12-1.
Top 10.
Top 10. Yeah, I'll read the top 10 here. Rory, second, 16-1. Also with.
I gotta say it. Rory.
Rory
McIlroy. Okay, go ahead.
Ricky Fowler and Justin Rose also at 16-1. Last year's defending champion Jordan Spieth at 20-1. Justin Thomas at 21. Tommy Fleetwood at 20-1. Koepka, the U.S. Open champion last major, at 20-1.
Back to back.
Yeah, back to back. Hats off to Brooks. And John Rahm also at 20-1. Excuse me. And
Jason Day coming next.
Yeah, Tiger at 25-1. I feel like Tiger's honestly has been overranked in terms of odds and favorites going into tournaments. I don't know. We can say
he's Tiger Woods. I believe in the Tom Brady the GOAT until someone knocks him off. He's still the GOAT Tiger Woods, I'm sure he's been knocked off. But I'm just
Tiger
saying,
Woods. I was also 9 the
give him
last
some
time
respect.
Tiger won a major.
What's that?
I was also 9 the last time Tiger won a major. So
That is wow, really?
yeah,
Wow,
the facts are the facts.
that is okay.
So out of these top names and these favorites, who jumps out at you?
Who jumps out at me? I tell you what, Tommy Fleetwood. I go with like the people of the homeland. Not besides Rory, I really like Justin Rose and Tommy Fleetwood. They're just Tommy Fleetwood's up and coming. He's been hot for the past couple years. The top 10 finishes he's been in. He's just small. He's of small stature, but the small stature people
He still strikes it well.
still strikes it well. Yeah, kind of like going back to the Corey Pavins and the other, the Ian or the what's his name, Ian Poulter. No, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of someone else, but I'll get his name. But anyway, the small. I like the way they play, obviously, in these types of conditions. On their homeland. So yeah, those are the ones that jump out at me right now. Justin Rose,
Rory and Tommy.
not Rory, no, just Justin Rose and Tommy.
Okay.
I just said besides Rory.
Yeah, the English people.
Right, correct,
Right.
British. Yes, that's correct. European.
Yeah, very fair, very valid points there. The names that jump out to me are Jordan Spieth and Jon Rahm. Obviously, Jordan Spieth, we talked about him as the defending champion at Birkdale last year. Just someone. I think he's the most talented golfer today, and he will be for the next decade, honestly.
Rahm.
No. I'm talking about Jordan Spieth right now.
I'm sorry.
No, he just, when someone's that talented, they can win any tournament, and any tournament they play in, they are a threat to win.
Certainly.
So you can't ignore him. And Jon Rahm, he's been, I know he's been, up and coming as well as Tommy Fleetwood, but he's a big guy. He hits it far, and he just really checks off all the boxes. And I know he's still young and still got plenty of years ahead of him, but he's gonna put it together and win it sometime. But
I'm looking at the at the next era. Yeah, I'm trying to pick that person going back a couple years, and Jordan Spieth definitely pops out. I'm talking about like going way back to the Gary Player and the Jack Nicklaus era. And the Arnold Palmer,
the dominant figures
of those decades. Obviously, I'm looking for the next one. It went from Nicklaus, and it went. He carried it on until he was 40.
Till the 80s.
46. Well, 46 when he won his the last Masters in 86. I'm just looking. And obviously, we know who came next was Tiger. I'm looking for that next one. And Jordan Spieth definitely has that. Yes, DJ's coming up. On everyone's radar as far as like who will be the dominant figure for the next and the perennial favorite of Phil. I'm a big Phil fan. I think a lot of people are. He's the crowd favorite, but I'm just trying to look at who will be dominant in the next 10 years from now. And Jordan has got it going. He's got it going.
Yeah, 4 majors.
4 majors, right?
Already
So,
what, 20? He's only 24, 25.
Yeah,
I don't even know how old, but
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll say mid-20s. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, so, but I like, if we're talking favorites right now, and if we're going to talk a little bit more, as far as like the in-depth of the course, which, how we feel it's going to be playing.
I heard it's got slow greens. That's
slow,
what I read.
is that what you hear?
Yeah.
What's the stimp meter reading on it?
Oh, I don't know all that.
Do
but
you know what a stimp meter is?
No.
Measures whatever, we'll get into that later if you want to, but
I heard
it's
slow-
a measuring tool of the greens.
Okay. Yeah.
You only cut the collars over.
Yeah,
the
in my
fairways,
golf
yeah.
course
Golf course
employment
maintenance.
history, I did not cover that. The stint
the stint meter.
Stint meter? No, I'm not familiar with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they're running
Slow.
Slow.
I heard slow. That's what I read. So
not a lot of rain over it. Maybe it has rained. Who knows? I didn't
Yeah.
check the forecast, from the previous week or so. But the conditions look good. It's a long course. It's one of the tougher ones. It's in top 25 in the world. I'm excited to see if you can play there. And of all these sports, I love the prize at the end. This is one of besides the Stanley Cup. I think the Claret Jug is one of the coolest trophies to get. Obviously, it's one of the majors, but yeah, I'm excited for when. I like all the majors of the in the PGA, but the Masters is my favorite with that. But as far as like the actual trophy, the trophy of any
very
major sport,
picturesque when then they hold it up and win it.
I like the Claret Jug. The Claret Jug is the way I call it. Declare it, Jog.
You sound like you're choking. Jeez.
Oh, yeah, I say, Scotland! Ronnie!
All right, that's enough of that. I mean, yeah, you can throw that in at random
Okay.
times. Yeah, who out of the people we didn't mention towards the top of the favorite, who is somebody that we didn't really mention, is not really being talked about a lot as a dark horse candidate? Who do you like there as a sleeper?
Dark horse?
Yeah.
I've been thinking of that. I really think, and you may think I'm way off the charts with this, but I really think Lee Westwood is going to win one. He's going to win a major.
How
at
old
some
is
point.
he?
He's getting old. He's not, he's not, he's getting up there, put it that way. He's in his 30s, late 30s, maybe even, I think he might be even in his early 40s.
I'm going to look that up real quick.
Look
Lee
it up
Westwood.
real quick. But Lee Westwood, if you're looking at Dark Horse, the odds are really against him. But wouldn't it be something to win one, in the homeland, or not his homeland, but over in Europe, to be his first major? Everyone's looking for that story. And he always, he's in the past 5 years, he's 45 years old.
45. Oh, man.
It's
I
gonna
don't
be
know.
tough, huh?
Can he run with these young guns?
No. I mean, my front runner is going to be Justin Rose. But if we're talking about dark horses.
Yeah, that's why it's a dark horse.
Anybody could.
That's
do
why
it.
I said dark horse,
Right. He's playing it, right?
That'd be funny
If he's not playing it, then I'll come back in a later episode.
That would be even more shocking.
Yes, exactly. That would be even more shocking. But
Enters the field one day before the tournament starts. Okay,
Right.
That'd be funny.
how about Luke Donald too?
Luke Donald. I got Mark Leishman as my dark horse candidate. Talented golfer, but he has never won either, and I don't think he's won, right? I don't know, but he's
At least has won a major. No.
No, I didn't think so,
He
but
has not.
he's played well in them.
I know
He's
that.
got three top 6 finishes in the Open in his last 4 starts.
Okay.
So he's played well in it in the recent years, and he's 34 and he's never won. So we've seen a lot of first-time winners come over the past year. We've seen Patrick Reed, we've seen Sergio, Brooks Koepka last time.
Oh yeah. In the past 2 years, a lot of first-time winners.
A lot of first-time winners. So Leishman is someone who is talented, and he could put it together for 4 days. If maybe he has one bad day, he can put together a complete tournament. I think and he wasn't listed on these. Yeah, he was towards the bottom. They have him at 40-1, but still outside the top 10. I think he could make some noise in this tournament.
My dark horse. The reason why I mentioned Ian Poulter before is because he was on my list. I like Lee Westwood. I'll have to see if he is playing, but Ian Poulter would be my dark horse
Okay.
to come up and win it, because he has the talent to do it, and once again winning it over in Europe would be something. And a first timer.
Yeah, and I mean golf is in a way like the World Cup, how unpredictable it can be at times, and I know we don't want to make too much of a deal of the weather, but the weather could honestly play a big factor. You saw at I know that the U.S. Open was that was just a tough course, and the Koepka won it. I think he won it even or something like that, but the scores were not very good. They were.
Well, remember the first day is what we're getting to as far as like the conditions, the windy conditions, the way they started out.
Yeah, I know, and I checked the wind also at in Agnes, Scotland, and it's going to be
where?
I don't know.
Scotland. No, I'm sorry.
No, the course name. I thought you were going to get on me for the
I was
pronunciation
gonna
of
say
that.
where it is.
Scott. No, I'm not attempting my Scottish accent on here. I told you that. Yeah, I mean the weather obviously could play a big factor, as we've mentioned. So let's put our money where our mouth is. Give me your official prediction. Who is winning it all?
Justin Rose.
Justin Rose.
Justin Rose.
Out for the reasons you mentioned before. He's obviously a talented guy. Has done it before. Won a major before. His
play recently. Yeah, you have to look at how they start off the season, not just with the majors, but since like the players and everything, all the other tournaments that are before, and he stares them down. He's got he's got a cool, calculated approach to the game. He's not too flashy. He just plays the course to their conditions. Doesn't try to overpower anything, and he's kind of like one that everybody forgets about, in a way.
A little bit. And
all of a sudden, you're looking at all the big names. All of a sudden, Justin Rose is up there in the top 10. Oh, Justin Rose, he's creeping up. He's in the top 5 of any tournament, and then did it a couple of years. I think his last one was at Marion, and I think it's about it's due time. And,
You're definitely right.
he's playing well.
I like his demeanor. He's very cool and collected out there. He doesn't really wear his emotions on his sleeves. Where I think in golf, that's obviously it's 75% mental sometimes. You know what I mean? So yeah, he's very
point.
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that's 2 I'm picking. Justin Rose. I
All
like
right,
him.
definitely
I like
good call. My official prediction is Tommy Fleetwood.
Tommy Fleetwood.
Tommy Fleetwood. Yeah, and we talked about a little bit about him in the beginning as we were transitioning to the British Open here. But Tommy Fleetwood, obviously one of the hottest golfers on tour. You know, he finished tied for 17th at the Masters. He finished tied for 4th at the Zurich Classic in New Orleans. I think that was earlier this year. And at the U.S. Open, he finished second. And he always puts together a run on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. He shot 66 at the Masters on Saturday.
Right.
And on Sunday at the U.S. Open. Yeah, Tommy Fleetwood. He 63 on Sunday at the U.S. Open. So he always puts together a late run, and I like that about him. He's good off the tee. I think he's top 15, top 20 on tour right now off the tee. And he actually has the course record at Carnoustie. Yeah, 63. So he's played there well. I think the course conditions support his game. And like I said, I just really like him. I think he has a lot of momentum, and there we go. I'm going with Tommy Fleetwood.
He's definitely one that's in the in that category. I think to have quite an impact in the next decade. Not necessarily. I think he could probably string together and put together maybe 1 or 2 more majors, but he's definitely going to be in the hunt a lot, like all the points you just brought up. And I think he's got it going on. He's within that circle of Spieth,
bright future.
Spieth of Fowler. Well, I'm always pulling for Ricky. I love him. I'm a big Ricky fan too.
Yeah, we got to talk about Ricky for a second.
Well,
it'd be a shame if we didn't.
His first major, just in my heart, I wanted to be on homeland, but he has the potential of surprising us this upcoming weekend. But Ricky's within that group that I'm mentioning as far as the transitioning from the Palmer to the Nicklaus to the Woods, and then
he's actually getting up. He's in his 30s now.
Yeah,
he's getting up there in age.
True.
But Phil didn't win a major till he was in his 30s.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
And Bubba didn't win one till he was in his 30s. So you see all these guys that we held high and are prestigious golfers, and they didn't win one till their 30s. So
right.
Ricky's too talented not to win one, and
Correct.
His time is coming. So if not this time, it'll be within the next few years. But certainly he could put it together this weekend, and he was listed at the top of the odds. So,
and my prediction also for our favorite and for our fans out there, Hideki will win one, and I want it to be at a U.S. Open that I'm attending.
Hideki, you have the full support of the Hogline podcast. I know you're listening, Hideki.
Hail to Hideki.
You're a fan favorite here
Definitely.
At the Hogline.
We're pulling for you, buddy. If you can pull it out at Carnoustie, please do it. But I would not be disappointed if my Justin Rose prediction did not come true there. And if you won that would just be great.
Oh, same here. All right, so that's going to conclude our British Open preview today. We are going to transition to Le'Veon Bell of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Did not sign a long-term contract by the franchise tag deadline. That was yesterday at 4 p.m. There were some intense negotiations between him and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers' final offer to Le'Veon Bell was 5 years, $70 million, and he turned it down. That contract included $15 million annually over the next 2 years, so that contract was pretty front-loaded, so there'd be... Le'Veon would get his money, definitely. But Le'Veon wanted more, quite frankly. He wanted $16 to $17 million annually, and him and his agent believed that the Steelers were not valuing him enough. So he is set to become an unrestricted free agent in the 2019 offseason. What are your thoughts on this?
There's a lot to be... every year, it's
as Steelers fans.
Yes, as Steelers fans, it's just a disappointment, a little letdown every year. I mean, looking back at the Steelers' history as far as ownership and how they play their play, they never really come up with a huge big deal in a way. But I think Le'Veon Bell has earned it over the past since he began. It's just that disappointment of why can't they pay the man what he wants. He's come through every year so far with some injury, but he's come back in such a huge way every season with his play. How he is, he's so integral in that offense. I get a little disappointed that the Steelers need to do this at some point soon before they either lose him to free agency next year and surprise us all and not pay him and not and then he's gone to someone else. But with with Ben, with Brown, with the offensive line that they have, with the Pro Bowlers, with the Castro and Pouncey, that they got to put something together for him, a complete package to make him happy, so we don't have to go start every season. Is he going to sign? Is he going to be disgruntled? Is he going to But over the past 2 years, he's been doing that and he has stepped up. What year was he injured and he didn't start the season?
Well, his rookie year.
Suspended.
Well, yeah, suspension as well.
Suspension.
But his rookie year, he missed 4 games. He has been suspended twice to start 2 seasons,
right?
2 and 3 games, and he played only 6 games in 2015 when he tore his MCL or ACL or something.
I think I was the year I drafted him in our fantasy too.
You did.
Yeah, I did. So, but that's my view on it, to this point. As far as I know he'll perform. I know he won't hold out. There was discussion as far as will he be holding out himself?
Yeah,
for 6 games. I don't know if he said that.
There was a rumor that Adam Schefter reported that he'd be potentially sitting out half the season, and also
not going to happen. That won't happen.
Oh yeah, I don't think it will either. I think it's an empty threat. But in order to be eligible for 2019 free agency, he needs to play at least 6 games, I think, or something. I don't know. It's some weird rule, but he has to play at least 6 games if he's gonna sit out. I don't think he will at all.
That's where he got that.
The whole idea is to preserve his body so he's healthy enough and he doesn't want to, injure himself and then he loses a bunch of money next year. That's the whole point of holding out. To summarize, you're on Team Le'Veon, not Team Steelers in a way. You think Le'Veon is worth the money, and if you were the Steelers, you would give him pretty much whatever you would want.
I believe he is, yes. But just with the long Steelers history, not that that in depth.
Typically, we don't give big contracts.
Exactly, we don't give big contracts. We of course we manage we manage that financial aspect of the team well, but there's just some point that I believe he's a special talent, as we all know, and I think I'm in Le'Veon Bell camp, as far as give him what he deserves. Pay the man.
I have,
as Dion would say.
I have a lot to say on this, and I know if people are listening, they may think I am on Le'Veon's side, and I agree with you, but I honestly could not disagree more.
Okay.
I am completely 100% agree with the Steelers organization not to give him his contract. And I know that may sound shocking, but Le'Veon makes me so mad. He has made me so mad this offseason and last offseason. I was so done with him because how can you not set your ego aside for the team that has so much potential on offense and firepower, he's making all this fuss over just $1.5 million.
Right.
Come on, man. They offered you $14 million a year. That is $6 million a year annually, more than any running back that's under contract right now. The highest running back that's under contract right now is Devontae Freeman. I think he gets $8 or $9 million a year. And I understand you're trying to,
much more of a special back than Devontae Freeman.
Yeah, you are the best running back in the league, but they offered you $14 million a year, Le'Veon. Set your ego aside. And the main reason why I agree completely with the Steelers and not him, is teams like the Eagles and the Patriots. They proved to everyone that you can still win a Super Bowl.
Correct.
With a running back by committee. The Patriots do it. They have it every year. The Patriots never have a lead running back. They always, evenly distribute carries. And the Eagles did it last year. You don't need that main workhorse guy. And I think our offensive line is top 7, if not top 5 in the league. As you mentioned, we have 2 Pro Bowlers. We have Marquise Pouncey and David Castro, and there's still Villanueva, excuse me, on the tackle.
Yes, I forgot. Yes.
Our offensive line is very good, and I think you could get a average. Obviously, there's no one that can replace everything that Le'Veon Bell does, but you can get a guy that's serviceable, and I think we still have enough weapons to, be a top 10 offense in the NFL, if not top 5 without him. So I agree with the Steelers of not paying him, and he makes me so mad. And I have so much more to say on this that I'm probably forgetting about, but
I just know that the Steelers. I know the Steelers won't do so because of the fact that just with their past history, they do manage their money, they spread it around. They put it towards where they need it the most, which is the linebackers.
We definitely need to pay the defense more than they do Le'Veon.
Linebackers, and our secondary has just been hasn't been what it has been in the past 10 years. Ever since the Polamalu left or whatnot. But
it's much different from back in the Super Bowl days.
It is much different than back in those days. And going back to the offensive line, I think as we all know, Le'Veon is so patient. He could pick his own hole. So as far as where we have Villanueva on the one end, and then solidly packed on the inside with DeCastro and all Pro Bowlers with the Pouncey, he can definitely pick his own hole and go wherever he wants. But I just know, yes, I agree with you in the regards that the Steelers will manage their money in that regards. So if they don't give someone the big the franchise tag and pay him what they want or pay him what he wants. But I'm all for as far as making as much as you can. Obviously, within the time frame that you have as a back in this league up until your early 30s. So he's only how old? In
26?
Mid 20s. Yeah, mid 20s right now. So he's looking out for what he is, but he is a special talent that I haven't seen in a while as far as in the backfield for the Steelers.
And you know what, Le'Veon? I'm addressing this right to you, Le'Veon. So listen up, Le'Veon.
Well, he's going to be coming in the studio, isn't he? Yeah.
Oh no, he doesn't want to see me tonight. Le'Veon, listen up. You are irresponsible, quite frankly. I know your days of smoking weed are behind you. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But you have got suspended twice.
The weed.
Stay off the weed, Le'Veon. I know your days of smoking weed are behind you. You have an injury history, and you hurt us really bad last year with the holdout.
Yeah.
People don't realize Le'Veon Bell was not a very good running back in the first month of last season. I know he had a crazy second half of the year, but the holdout really hurt the Steelers last year. We win a couple of those. We lost to the Bears earlier in the season. If we beat them, maybe the 1 seed, and we have New England. We play the Titans instead of the Jaguars in the division round. The whole season could have been different.
We wouldn't have had to depend on the home field advantage with that Patriots game.
Exactly. The whole season could have been different if you were there the whole time. And in my opinion, you've gone about getting your money the completely wrong way. You want to see a good example? Look at your teammate Antonio Brown. He shows up every single offseason. He works his butt off every training camp.
Calls God.
He calls God. He is there every single time. He was a 6th round pick. He came up from nothing, and he became the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. That's how you get your money if you want to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. You don't not show up. You show up, and you work hard every day, Le'Veon. So
Good point.
That's how you get your money, Le'Veon.
I think Ben's been getting his ear too, as far as Ben has been the leader on this team and kind of bringing in the rookies. The younger players, rookies back in the day or whenever Le'Veon joined, but just he went through his stupid mistakes at the beginning of his career. I think he needs to give him a talk too as well. Besides listening to Mitch.
Yeah, listen to me, Le'Veon. I mean, it's gonna be bittersweet when you're out there this year, and I hope you get everything you got, and I hope we make the Super Bowl run. Obviously, I love the Steelers to death.
We're gonna win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. There you go.
Every year.
I like that confidence.
Oh, we'll win it. Sorry, everyone else, all the other fans of the other 31 teams, but sorry.
All right. Well, I think this is a good time to transition. If a question begs, does this whole entire situation affect Le'Veon's fantasy value in redraft leagues for this upcoming fantasy season, in your opinion?
I think it...
Slightly, maybe?
Slightly. I really can't tell definitively yes or no at this point because... of how the rest of the training, the mini camps go, and the preseason starts in a couple weeks. It's just, you know, a lot of times it's just drama, and but I think it's slightly it will. I don't think he'll be, you know, he'll still be picked up within the first.
Surefire first round
within
pick.
the first round, towards the end of the first round. If not, if someone, you know, if things get a little bit more shaky with in media in the next couple weeks, but it really is to build drama. So I think slightly, but not. You know, more than
no, yeah. Like we said before, we think the holding out is an empty threat. Le'Veon obviously cares about his money. He's not gonna sit out and lose game checks.
But you're winning these. You're playing these to win rings, to win the championships right now, especially when you're in your mid-20s.
So yeah,
you know what I mean,
in terms of redraft leagues, fantasy value, he's not dropping many spots. You could maybe make the case of taking Elliott and David Johnson over him, maybe, but
you're going to take him whether he holds out or not. Yeah. If he is going to hold out for 6 games, you have two or three other your RB 2, 3s, and 4s that you just have to be smart in picking, and you know you survive with them, and then when you know you have Le'Veon coming back, you're going to be in full swing.
Yeah, it doesn't affect his value that much. Maybe a few picks he drops back, but still a surefire middle to beginning of first round selection. LeSean McCoy is definitely a lot more of a concern than him. Like
yeah.
I mean, that's a whole other mess. He could definitely. I could see his value dropping a lot in the coming weeks when fantasy drafts are starting up. But
I've been on the Pitt campus for the past couple of days, and McCoy's stuff is nowhere to be found. So
all the McCoy statues are being torn.
All the statues are being torn down, like the South. Like the Southern statues over the past year, but yeah, it's a mess over there on the University of Pittsburgh campus. But yeah, McCoy's status is going to be definitely.
That's a crazy situation.
That is. Oh yeah, he's definitely going to be dropped down to,
who knows,
5 or 6 rounds. Maybe I'm sure he'll be picked up somewhere.
Yeah, it'll sort itself out with his draft position there. We're going to talk about another running back, Saquon Barkley of the New York Giants.
Love it.
We haven't really talked about him too much on the hog line here. Big fan of Saquon. Obviously very special talent. Very excited to see what he does in the NFL. He is going in non-PPR leagues. I believe he is going around the 7th pick in the first round. And I wanted to ask the question to you.
Non-PPR leagues, he's going to 7th.
His PPR value is around the same, honestly, but he's going around 1-7, 1-8, like the 7th or 8th pick in the first round. Do you think that's too high for him? What are your concerns? Are there any concerns to you about taking him?
No, not at all. You saying that 7 or 8 pick? I don't think that's high at all. I think he's a special talent. I think he's going to be just as, if not more, in my opinion, than Zeke a couple years ago.
His rookie year. People coming in were.
Not doubtful of Zeke, but I think Saquon has much more versatile. If you're looking at, like, I'm not comparing him to the Zeke thing, but I did bring him up as far as, like, I think he's got much more talent. He's definitely on the Le'Veon Bell type thing as far as, like, on both sides, as far as, like, going out to the flat, running up the middle, taking control of a game in that regard. So I really think he's going to be something special in the NFL. So I think 7 is not high at all. I could even see him 5.
Yeah.
You know, just
no.
Going, you know,
yeah.
Someone wants to be bold.
Exactly. He's not. Obviously, I completely agree with you. I am all in on Saquon Barkley this year. I mean, if you want to highlight a few concerns about him, I mean, every player's got something. I mean, the Giants' offensive line. Yeah. No, not talking about him. I'm just talking about a situation in general. Right. The Giants' offensive line last year was horrendous.
Awful.
It was terrible.
It was just a horrible situation with the.
Ben McAdoo. Ben McAdoo.
Awful. That's despicable. That could be like a whole other show. But anyway, go ahead.
No, yeah, their offensive line was terrible last year. They did make some improvements. They added Nate Solder from New England, offensive tackle, and they drafted Will Hernandez, I believe, in the 2nd round of the NFL draft out of, I think he went to UTEP. I could be wrong on that. But a very high prospect, one of the top 5 guards in the 2018 NFL draft.
Isn't Lawrence Taylor coming back?
Lawrence Taylor, I think they would like Lawrence Taylor.
They would. He probably could come back.
Yeah, I mean, the Giants could definitely improve from last year. Their offensive line, it's still not perfect. Definitely improved from last season, but I mean that could definitely be a concern when you're looking at Saquon's situation.
Saquon could be a draw. He could be a draw for other, offensive linemen coming in the future. I mean, the next couple of years, to determine on how the Giants pick to guard him or to open up, options for him.
Yeah, and then
players and whatnot.
another concern could potentially be that they have so many weapons. I mean, obviously Saquon's going to get the vast majority of the ground game and the carries from the Giants, but in terms of his pass catching ability could be limited in a sense that they have got Odell Beckham coming back from injury, Sterling Shepard coming back from injury, and you got a second-year tight end in Evan Ingram coming back. So there's a lot of targets to go around in the passing game. So I'm saying I'm just nitpicking here. These are just concerns that you could see with Saquon. Sure. I think he's completely fine, and he's a surefire pick in my opinion. I think he's going to be outstanding.
Definitely, 100%.
Yeah. So that's Saquon Barkley. Another question that we have here is, what is your quarterback draft strategy?
Quarterback.
We're in the same league, so he doesn't want to reveal everything here. But just a quick few tips here. What are your thoughts on just the quarterback position in general?
I will cave as I always do, probably.
Yeah,
most likely I will cave.
Tell him your draft strategy every year.
My draft strategy every year is that I'm going to be picking a quarterback probably in the later after a round, we'll say 7 or 8 to pick a quarterback because just of all the other options you have that you need to pick up with the running back, strong running backs and wide receivers, especially receivers. And nowadays, in my opinion, it's all passing.
You got to build.
So that's my plan. I'm not going to pick a quarterback any earlier than round 6, we'll say. And I always cave and pick one in the third round or fourth round.
I mean, hey, it worked out for you last year.
It worked out for me.
He picked Tom Brady last year.
Thomas last year, the GOAT, and he will be the GOAT, and just because just to give the man some respect. As he's well earned, but it worked out well for me last year. So my strategy, I'm going to go out and say I've had that strategy for the past 2 years. Don't pick one earlier than round 6, but I will probably no earlier than round 5.
You keep moving it up and up. You said 7, 6, then 5.
I'm going to no earlier than 5.
Yeah, I mean
no earlier than 5.
You can't argue the fact that the quarterback position is the deepest in fantasy football. You've guys got like Phillip Rivers going in double-digit rounds, Matthew Stafford, Kirk Cousins, Jimmy Garoppolo, Ben Roethlisberger. You have a lot of guys that could easily finish as a quarterback 1 at their position going in double-digit rounds. So it's hard to argue the value of getting one of those guys later. But with that being said, if everyone waits on a quarterback, eventually guys like towards the top, like Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers and Deshaun Watson, those guys are going to fall if everyone waits. So if you can get one of those guys at a value spot, their ADP now is
Let's
whatever.
Not forget about Carson Wentz too.
Yeah, Carson Wentz coming back from injury.
Definitely.
But all those guys are going. Not all of them, like Rodgers and Watson, are going in the 3rd or 4th round on average. But if they slide and you can get them in the 5th round or something like that, that's value right there. So.
Who we kidding? I'm picking Drew Brees in round 2.
Oh yeah, that's your main man. That is your main man. Round 2, wow. You sure you're not going to draft Monte Ball?
If other people are going to, hey, stop. If people are, either him or Lee Westwood,
You're draft Lee Westwood.
I'll draft Lee Westwood. I'll pick him as my dark horse in the British Open. But no, my view is that there's plenty of talented quarterbacks, as Mitch had, as you pointed out.
Don't panic if you can't get one of those top tier guys.
Exactly. Don't panic. Don't panic.
Yeah.
As a Hall of Fame coach once said to me, don't panic. Go cower. Don't panic.
Yeah, that's quarterback. It's all about value in every position. Honestly, you got to look at their ADPs, and if they slide, you got to go get the guys you want at the end of the day.
Correct.
Don't
forget about Deshaun Watson you brought up. Everyone's gonna be not forgetting about him, but
I don't think people are forgetting about Deshaun Watson.
What a special talent we saw him last year, where they're going to be fortunate to pick him up and hopefully just pray that he stays healthy. I think he will. He's a big guy.
I called it. I don't want to sing my praises, but I said he was going to be good last year.
Did you?
During the draft. I don't know why the Browns didn't draft him. They let him go. And
who knows why the Browns do anything that they do?
That's fair.
Who knows why they do anything they do?
Yeah, I can see him winning multiple Super Bowls. You heard it here first in the Hogline podcast.
Can we give a shout out before we end the program? To our man Bryce Harper.
The Bryce Harper. Wow.
Bryce Harper.
He's
last
not my
night.
man. Why is he my man?
No, you just for the
I don't like Bryce Harper.
Just for the feat that he did last night. What a great
I know.
great home run derby.
Yeah. He can
Yeah.
hit a lot of home runs.
Yeah.
That's his job.
But it's so exciting though. They have the clock now. As far as like counting down, you have to get in underneath that time. I like that. I like the clock they're implementing in the minor leagues with with pitch count and everything. Everything's just more exciting with the time class. So that was just exciting last night. I just want to give
Yeah. Hats off to Bryce.
in his home stadium too. It was very special. I like
Yeah.
that. Anyway,
I can see that, but still, I'm not gonna give.
I know he's not your man, but I'm
Yeah,
just
he's
saying.
not my man. Bryce Harper, you're not my man.
But it was a great show last night.
Yeah, I caught a little bit of the home run derby, and that was definitely exciting to watch as well.
Yeah, for the crowd there too.
Yeah. All right, so that's the end of the episode today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks
great.
for coming on.
Thanks for having me on, pal.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Love you.
Love you too.
Okay.
Yeah, so be sure to follow at the Hogline Podcast on Instagram. And where can they find you on Instagram?
You know what? They can just just search Brian. I'm sure you'll find it.
Search Brian.
Search Brian. They'll
You're gonna
find
change
me.
your name to Brian on Instagram.
Exactly.
Just Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Find me at it's Brian underscore.
Yeah. I think you're
Brian underscore
at
Manis.
Brian
Underscore
Manis.
Yeah, that's
there
what
you
it is.
go.
Yeah.
And you can also follow my personal page at Mitchell Manis on Instagram. Thanks for listening, everyone, and
Thanks,
have a
guys.
good week.
Bye.
Peace.